Today, we delve into a disturbing trend emanating from India. Mounting evidence indicates a systematic campaign of extraterritorial assassinations. This has persisted for decades, with India carrying out extrajudicial killings and abductions across South Asia, particularly in countries like Pakistan. The assassination of Hardeep Singh Nijjar, a Canadian national and Sikh separatist leader, ignited a diplomatic standoff between Canada and India, while charges against an Indian national in the United States further exposed this pattern.
In the killing of a Canadian citizen on Canadian soil is an unacceptable violation of our sovereignty.
Pakistani authorities have disclosed credible evidence linking Indian agents to murders on Pakistani soil, prompting concerns about accountability for these violations of international law.
We have credible evidence of the links between Indian agents and the assassination of two Pakistani nationals on Pakistani soil. These are killings for hire cases involving a sophisticated international setup spread over multiple jurisdictions.
In what ways has India's involvement in extraterritorial assassinations exemplified a departure from international law and norms? Can you provide examples of instances where India's actions have been deemed as rogue behavior, and how this defiance of international law has contributed to tensions in the region?
That's a very good and a comprehensive question. As we are all very aware that Pakistan has been a target of nefarious designs of India for a very long time. And we have been raising our voice against it. We have been making the international community aware of what is going on in the region. And it is not only Pakistan that was targeted, but other smaller countries in the region have also been a target of these negative activities which India has been involved in. Now, with the economic development that India has achieved, and especially after it has signed the nuclear agreement with the US, and now it has become a strategic partner of choice for the West, particularly the US, and also considering the fact that the West considers India now as a major counterweight to China. So India has become larger than itself, so to say. It has now, it thinks that it has become so big that it can join the big boys club.
Theoretically speaking, if someone has to defend your country against threats which you perceive to be are of your core national interest, then all means are fair. This is the practice that has been followed since time immemorial by every nation on earth. This is nothing unique or specific to India. So at a conceptual, theoretical level, of course, every nation has the responsibility to protect and defend itself.
But the world was really not taking any attention or giving any attention to our claims, because they always saw it in the context of Pakistan-India traditional rivalry, particularly on the question of Kashmir. But now we see that it happened in their own country. Now India became so bold and so empowered that it thought that if they target their opponents, these were Sikh targets that they hit in Canada, and then they also tried to attempt another assassination in the US. They thought this would also not, get any traction in the Western media, but you saw how Canada reacted ferociously to this and exposed the Indian designs.
I can say that this is something we take very seriously. A number of us have raised this directly with the Indian government.
Canada said this gave its claims legitimacy.
The news coming out of the United States further underscores what we've been talking about from the very beginning, which is that India needs to take this seriously.
But even at that time, although the Five Eyes were involved in this, and Canada and Australia and the European powers, they all were involved in trying to get or to determine that it was the Indian government itself that was involved in the killing of the Sikh activist in Canada. But still, the reaction of Europe and of America particularly was very lukewarm. They really did not go to the extent that they wanted to. There are several reasons for that. Of course, it's an important player in the Indian Ocean and in the Pacific, and as we are all aware that the confrontation or the containment or the competition that will actually play out between the US and China will not be in Europe or elsewhere. It will primarily be in this region. So people did not pay much heed to it. But this time, they thought that if they also do it at a larger scale in Pakistan, the international community will not pay much attention to it. And that is why you saw that there are now about 21 extraterritorial killings, which we think have been done by the Indians. And there were 2 cases that we also brought forward. The Foreign Office gave a very, very detailed presentation to the media.
On 11 October 2023, Mr. Shahid Latif was assassinated outside a mosque in the city of Sialkot. A detailed investigation revealed that an Indian agent, Yogesh Kumar, based in a third country, orchestrated the assassination. We have evidence of transactions made in the process linking the entire chain to Indian agent Yogesh Kumar. The second case is of Muhammad Riaz. Another Indian agent was involved in the killing of another Pakistani national, Muhammad Riaz, who was assassinated during Fajr prayers in a mosque in Rawalakot on 8 September 2023.
And it was amazing when the evidence was presented to see how sophisticated the evidence has become. It is now gone beyond sending their agents to the countries where they would want to target their enemies or target the people who don't agree with their frame of mind. It has now become very sophisticated and technologically very advanced, therefore making it very difficult to piece together the evidence. For example, in the 2 cases that Pakistan recently sort of brought to the attention of the world, third countries were used. The territories of third countries were used, particularly the countries that are friendly to Pakistan. Although we had a very, very strong dossier, it really hasn't got that attention that it should have. But that doesn't mean we stop protesting and we stop bringing it to the attention of the international organizations like the UN, the EU, but we should bilaterally continue to make a very strong protest, because it actually hits at the very heart of our security and safety of our nationals.
Will the international community take action? Or will they continue to turn a blind eye to India's actions due to its economic and geopolitical significance?